Mindfulness is a mode of perception. When we are mindful, we see the world more as it really is, without judging it through the lens of experience and prior knowledge, and maybe valuations that we learned in our childhood. However, we can define some typically occurring levels of mindfulness that can be useful to determine the own progress and the general direction your practice is going. But let us now explore the different levels of mindfulness that I came up with. And let us start with the more common types of mindfulness and progressively, move towards the rarer kinds. But first, let us begin with the everyday marketplace mindfulness, as Aya Kema, for example, called it sometimes. This type of mindfulness occurs during everyday life, when you are for example, doing your job, earning your livelihood, interacting with people out there. Sometimes we are mindful and make decisions. We aren't perfectly mindful, as most of the time we are in the middle of an autonomous reaction. But we tend to make decisions and we are aware of things around us that happen. Another part of this type of mindfulness is the type of mindfulness that arises in dangerous situations. When there is danger and our fight or flight response is triggered, then we become mindful and we see the present moment as it is without any of the other concepts. The next most common type of mindfulness is the first time experience mindfulness, as I call it. For example, when we are still young and a child, then we perceive many things out there for the first time. And when we perceive something for the first time, we have no choice but to construct new mental models of it. We have no a priori knowledge about it. There are no concepts in our mind that we could use and see instead of what is right before us. Therefore, this is a very powerful type of mindfulness, and it occurs even during adult life from time to time. But it becomes much, much rarer with age, and therefore some people wish they were young once more to experience the novelty and the fascination that comes with the first time experience mindfulness. The next type of mindfulness is the mental note mindfulness and meditation. Some types of meditation suggest to you that you should make mental notes of everything that is going on around you. For example, when you breathe in, you say to yourself, breathing in or rising, while you watch what happens in your abdomen or at your nose or at your upper lip, or falling when you breathe out. In other words, you make a mental note for everything that is happening to constantly remind yourself to watch out for what is actually going on in the present moment. Okay, and the next type of mindfulness is effortless mindfulness. When you practiced noting or mental noting in general for a quite long time, then there is a good chance that it will become effortless, aka you just do it without trying very hard. And this can be compared with, for example, a good athlete or someone that is very good at their job. They had to train and practice very hard in the beginning, but at some point they just do it without even thinking about it. And this is the corresponding type of mindfulness. After that comes second nature mindfulness, aka it is so deeply ingrained now that you are just always mindful except for some very rare occasions where, for example, thoughts of lust or harming might invade your mind, as the Buddha might have put it. And this second nature type of mindfulness, where you might even start to see the three characteristics of existence very clearly, is a kind of advanced type of mindfulness. You will, for example, notice non-self very clearly. You will notice aspects of impermanence and clear aspects of suffering, the three characteristics that the Buddha ascribed to all things that we can experience at every point in time. And after that becomes the clear awareness type of mindfulness, where everything pretty much fades from your perception. There is no more valuation, there is no more association with self, there is nothing left but the object we perceive, the very moment that is in front of us, nothing else. aka the observer and the observed become one at that very point in time. And when you achieve that 100% of the time, then you are a fully enlightened being, or perfectly awake, as the Buddha might have put it. Okay, but let us now come to a short summary. Well, and maybe one more remark. The more you try to be mindful, the less is everything modified or transformed by the lens of concepts or functions of the brain. AKA, mindfulness is about doing less, not more. Okay, but what are the takeaway points? Well, first, mindfulness often means doing less, not more. And this is most of the time mental activity that is meant by that. You do not try to judge things as good or bad or neutral anymore. You just see them for what they really are. Just moments of, input that comes into your mind, is processed there, and then the next moment comes in. And the better we are at being mindful, the less extra reactions get triggered in our mind. And our minds typically categorize everything as either good, neutral, or bad. And all sorts of other, things take place all the time. And in general, we seek out the good things, we try to avoid the bad things, and we give it our best to ignore the neutral kind of experience. We don't even see it. We totally remove it from our radar. And by no longer ignoring next to everything, because this neutral category is very, very big, we notice more and more things over time. And a 100% mindful person experiences everything without valuations, without much association, just the very mind moment before them. And the prior grades are only, partial mindfulness, let's say. You are still mindful sometimes, but not all the time. Okay, and that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed this type of video, feel free to like the video and maybe subscribe to the channel. And if you feel like I misrepresented something, please let me know in the comment section so that other people can benefit from your wisdom. But until then, I wish you a pleasant day and goodbye.